For this video, I'm using the LK Chen Shuang Dao. It's based off of the New Way Dao design in an antique pair from the Qing dynasty. You can find out more information at lkchensword.com. Check it out in the link in the description down below. Hey, what's up? It's Sifu Kuttel. We have our Seung Dao, and I'm going to give you two more techniques that are going to be on the more advanced end of what we've been working on. So for this one, definitely you have some prerequisites. Make sure to go back. You should be very good at wrapping the head with both your left and your right hand and traveling together, so moving across the shoulders as well. And as well going back over the wrapping the head single techniques, because this is going to kind of be that next step where we're doing double techniques. So we're going to be wrapping, cutting with both blades, wrapping around, and then cutting again. There's 4 cuts per technique, and this is something that you can practice on both sides. Now, in the old days, this was the first thing that you would learn when you would learn Seung Dao, because this gets you all the way around. You get all your maneuverability. You're really developing your spatial awareness for the double weapon. You're developing your ambidexterity, and it is something that's going to be involved in many, many techniques. Now, although this is something I keep calling one of the fundamentals and one of the basics, it definitely is advanced, especially when it comes to implementing this one in combat. So don't think of it as like this is going to be your ultimate technique, your ultimate winning technique. But for your training, it's super important. It's a foundation, but this is an advanced weapon. So it's a very advanced foundation. And when it comes down to cutting and using the blades in combat, it's allowing you extra options. Okay, you'll see it as we do it, but make sure to work on those videos first before you attempt it with with your swords, and also play it safe. If you have short sticks or you have foam batons, those are even better. You can work with those first, and then you can work your way up to the swords. And by no means should you be using a sharp sword to practice this. This is all about learning how to maneuver the sword around your body. Don't use a live blade until you're completely confident that you will not touch yourself. Okay, so let's grab our swords or your sticks or your foam batons and let's get to work. All right, so this is, like I said, a very advanced technique. Not only do you have to have good wrapping the head with the single hand, but with the other hand. So you should be able to work right and left with both hands, and we should have a good ability to cut over the head and then in both directions. So that's what we're looking for here before you attempt this one. It is not easy. Now, end positions, there's 2 ways to do it. The first way can be to bring up both blades at the end. This is typically done for more of a showing technique. You'll end up facing the other way and looking back. But when you do this, make sure you keep a nice firm grip. That 90-degree angle between your blade and your forearm comes into play, because if you can just bring your blades up like this with a good firm grip, you don't have to look back and check and make sure that they're in good alignment. None of this, none of this, none of this. It has to be straight up and down. Our back hand is pressing against the elbow with the flat of the blade, and our front hand is extended out as far as possible, okay? That's the easy part. Other ways that we can do this is to just end with a cut. This is much easier, and this is how we're going to practice it for now. But I do encourage that you practice both ways. This is typically how it's done in Choi Li Fut in Seung Dao forms, okay? So, a good thing to remember for this technique is that we will be moving consecutively, and it will be left, right, or right, left, depending on which hand you start with. So let's flatten out the blades, and actually we'll take a look at 2 parts of this. First one is our back hand goes over and under. Now, easier is our other hand goes over and over. But it's when we cross the body from our first 2 cuts into our second 2 cuts, that's where it gets a little complicated. So if I break it down, this would be my left, right, bringing it around, left, and then right. And this is where we run into a little bit of an issue. So a nice way to practice this is just to have, practice just that last part. So we'll have one blade back, flat already, over the head, and then we go underneath 1, 2. Again, rest on the shoulder, get our other blade back, turn it so we have our palm up, over the shoulder. That other hand goes first, and then 2, okay? Again, we start with the blade out, over, 1, 2, okay? Now from here, it's just gonna be following. So let's do the whole thing. Flatten the blades, left, around the head, right cuts. As this goes around the head, my left hand drops out because otherwise you're gonna end up clashing the blades together, around the head, and then finish 1, 2. Okay, again, left, right, around the head, left, right. Now, it may feel a little bit weird that you have to stop and stop to practice this. But as you get more and more comfortable, the ideal here is actually that this just continues going across. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. It just non-stop, cut, 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 cut. And that's what you want to work into for this one. And then, of course, being able to do it to both sides. Now for our next technique, we're going to make something that we just got a hold of and shake it up. So before we had left, right, or right, left. Now we're going to do right, left, right. Okay, so this is from a Seung Dao form, and I find it to be a really unique combination. It's not something you see in many forms. So I think this is a great one to practice, especially because of its uniqueness and its difficulty. Now, we're going to start with our back blade. Cut to the shoulder, wrap the head. We'll follow with our front blade, bring it around, and then once it's here, we're not going to cut right away with that back hand. We're going to use this now to cut down and then come up to the shoulder as we cut underneath and then drop the stance down. Okay, so after we come around here, we drop this blade back, and then I'm going to cut 1, and then I'm going to drop down, anchoring and chopping at the leg. Okay, so again, with the blades back, we have 1, 2, bring it around the head, and then now left starts, 1, 2. Okay, so it's not necessarily cutting and wrapping the brain or cutting and flipping the blade over. For that last one, we're blocking down, and then we're going to bring it up and anchor as we chop down again, clearing the path and chopping at that leg. Again, we have 1, 2, wrap, 1, 2. If I'm facing towards you, we have 1, 2, wrap, 1, 2. Again, calling out the sides, we have right, left, wrap, left, right. All right, you saw it right there. I wasn't lying. This one is a lot more intricate. There's a lot more going on. We're wrapping the head with both arms. We're throwing the cuts in between, and then once we change up that timing from being just right, left to right, left, right, it really changes the dynamics of the technique itself. Now, one of the things I didn't mention in the video, because we were focusing more on using the blades to cut as we were doing this, cutting across, you can also use this in more of a defensive wrapping the brain. So we can actually bring the blade up as if an umbrella block with both of these, and then follow up with actual cutting techniques. So you do have an option there. It's something worth testing out rather than just going for the cut and then up and over. You can just simply keep the tip of the blade down, raise up over the head, and then finish with the cut. That one does have combat application as well, but you should be pretty versatile with both of these if you really want to master this weapon. Now, the last thing is, again, I want to emphasize when you have both weapons and they're up, keeping a nice firm grip with your hand, not having a loose grip, not like we're using jian, or not having flexibility in the wrist, just simply grabbing nice and firm. This will create that 90-degree angle, and this will allow you to always position your swords without having to look or check or double check everything. In the beginning, it might be a little bit difficult to know exactly where that is, but the more you do this, the easier it's going to be, and you can just raise up those blades and know they're in the proper position, and then always touching the flat of the sword next to your elbow, just above it. So if my elbow bend is here, I go more up towards my shoulder, and this is going to be your best position. They should be straight up and down, no tilt here, no weird tilts or articulations, and that's specifically forms speaking, but it's good to always know what your weapons are doing at all times. So even beyond just looking fancy in your forms, knowing what your weapon is or where it's pointed is essential. And these little ways of developing that awareness are really key for your training all around. All right, if you have any questions, drop them down below. This is a difficult technique, so if you didn't get it, it's okay. Take the time to practice. Go back, work on just simply wrapping the head, and then work on one technique at a time. Even though I put two in the same video, it doesn't mean that you should do two back to back, okay? Once you get a good grasp on it, return, try the other technique, and you'll find that you can actually pick these up. All right, I hope you enjoy these videos, and I'll see you in the next.